Hi, my name is Julian Strayhorn, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't had the chance yet, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified for future videos. Alright, so today we're going to go over patterns. Patterns I sometimes use in my work and mostly Photoshop, but this time we're going to use it in Adobe Illustrator. A lot of times illustrators use this for screen printing, especially when they use halftones or different types of halftones using line work or dots. And what it does is creates depth using different forms of opacity. It could be big halftones where they're much more closer together, or more smaller where they're more spread apart. And so today we're just going to go over that. And with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. Today we're going to get started on making a square. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a square. Say we're going to make it like super small here. And then we're just going to make sure we take off the stroke here. Clear the shape. And then we're going to Command C. And then Shift Command Alt V. Right on top. And then we're just going to give it another color like red or something like that. And then we're going to click on this anchor point and then drag to where it's fits to the center. And then we should highlight both just to make sure that we know that there are two shapes here. One right on top, the other one right at the bottom. Two layers. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Object. And then we're going to click on Pattern Make. And so you see here, what it does is it replicates each pattern in more of like a grid system just to make sure everything is aligned. And so that will create our new pattern. I'm just going to go ahead and click Done. And then what you'll notice in your swatches palette that a new one has been created. So say if we create a new shape, we're just going to make a circle, and then we're just going to click on this. And so you're saying to yourself right now, well, man, that's awfully big. Okay, what if I want to use a smaller shape or a smaller setup here? So what we can do here is we can change the scale of it and just go to Object again, go to Transform Scale. And the biggest important thing when doing this, especially with patterns, you want to make sure you unclick Scale Corners, Scale Stroke Effects, Transform Object. You just want to have Transform Patterns highlighted. And this is where you get to play around, like 50%, change the opacity. And so you want to click on there and see how the lines are getting much more closer, a little bit more thinner, showing a little bit more depth. Let's see what it looks like at 30%. That looks good. Okay, so now you're wondering, okay, well, what if I don't want it in a straight line? Well, you can definitely rotate it as well. And for here, it's kind of the same thing with scale. You want to make sure you check Transform with Patterns. And we're probably going to set this at 45 degrees because that makes everything look interesting. And there you have it. And so again, you can always play around with the scale here. Definitely create different shapes. This is one of the ways you can create patterns here. And you can definitely create patterns with different shapes. So let's try with a circle pattern, or what we know as halftone treatments. So we're going to create another square. We're going to use a different color here just to make sure we got everything. And we're going to use a yellow square. We're just going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to use the L shape to create our circles. And let's see. I'm going to create a circle here. You want to create them small enough, but you also want to make sure that it's on the node of each corner. And then you just want to Alt and duplicate. That's what I mean by that when I say dupe. And then you're just going to Shift and drag. Make sure everything is lined up, and then you're going to copy and place it to center. Alright, so what you're going to do next is just highlight every single shape here and then you're going to hit divide. And you're just going to take out every outside shape that's not in our circle or our square. And the next thing you're going to do is actually take out this shape, which is yellow. We don't need that anymore. Alright, so it looks like everything is even here. So what we're going to do now is just highlight all these, and then just go to Object, Make, and then Pattern. It looks about what I wanted to do. So we're just going to hit Done. And then boom, you have yourself another pattern. So now if we create an L shape, circle, hit this again, same deal, transform, scale. Make sure it doesn't say transform object. We can probably put that at like 12 just to make it interesting. You see, now it does that more of a halftone shape. Like, really want to change the opacity of either making your shapes larger and closer together, or more smaller and just creates more depth. Click OK. And so this actually creates different opportunities. You can definitely change the color of your patterns so long as your colors are global colors, and I'll explain more on that in a different video. But today I just really wanted to cover on halftone treatments and patterns. This method here is much easier to use in Illustrator. It definitely allows you to use different way. It definitely allows you to create different shapes and have that fit to a pattern as well. So say if I were to take a paintbrush and just create a shape here, it will take that form, you know. So it definitely helps when creating comic book characters or some type of imagery that allows that sort of thing. So, but this completes this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell when you're notified for future videos. With that being said, keep grinding. Thank you.